Look, don't shoot me, I'm just a messenger. But what if the very thing you've been told that is holding you back could actually become your greatest advantage? And I say that because maybe you've been diagnosed with ADHD, or it's always been a struggle for you to focus, or you start something, you can't finish it, or you couldn't even control your impulses. And people may have called you lazy, distracted, or unmotivated, but what if the problem isn't that you're broken? What if the problem is that your brain just works different? So what we're going to do today is learn what ADHD really is, separate myths from facts, and show how we can turn what feels like a weakness into one of your greatest strengths. So let's first discuss what ADHD really is. Now, ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. It's a neurodevelopmental condition that affects how the brain manages motivation, planning, organization, and self-control. Now, many people think having ADHD is you just can't pay attention, and that's not necessarily true. And I say that because people with ADHD, they often struggle to pay attention to things that don't capture their interest. But if something excites them, they may experience hyperfocus, and that's just being so absorbed in the task that you may lose track of time. Imagine trying to drive a car with a powerful engine but sensitive steering. The power isn't the problem, it's learning how to control it. That's going to be the challenge, and that's a helpful way you can look at ADHD. Now, let's talk about some common challenges that people may face with ADHD. Some may experience difficulty with finishing tasks, poor time management, impulsiveness, forgetfulness, restlessness, having trouble staying organized, and having emotional ups and downs. Now, these challenges are so real, but guess what? The good news is they don't define a person's potential. Your diagnosis is just information about you. It's not your identity. Alright, now that we have a better understanding of what ADHD really is and the common challenges that people face with ADHD, let's talk a little bit about the strengths that people develop with having ADHD. The first strength is creativity. Now, because the ADHD brain often makes unusual connections, many people become excellent artists, entrepreneurs, inventors, musicians, and even problem solvers. Alright, then we have number 2, which is high energy. Now, the thing about high energy is that it can become overwhelming when it's unfocused, but if it's directed on purpose, it's going to become drive and persistence. Alright, the fourth strength that people with ADHD carry is hyperfocus. Meaning when working on something meaningful, people with ADHD can be incredibly productive and they can master complex skills. Alright, and the fourth strength that people with ADHD have that's not even probably aware of it is adaptability. And I say that because many people with ADHD, they become resilient because they spent years learning how to solve problems in different creative ways as long as it gets done. You see, God does not waste our differences. Sometimes the very trait that create challenges for us can also become that same source of our greatest impact. So with that being said, let's talk about 5 ways to turn ADHD into a superpower. Number 1, discover your passion. Do not waste all your energy on something that doesn't matter. Find something meaningful and pursue excellence. You see, passion is what's going to fuel your focus. Number 2, you have to build systems. What we have to understand is that successful people don't just depend on memory alone. Use calendars, alarms, checklists, vision boards, or even daily routines. Because the truth is, discipline often comes from having good systems. Number 3, exercise your body, because exercise improves attention, your mood, and self-control for many people. So don't lay up in that bed overthinking everything in your head that your brain allows you to. Lift weights, walk, run, box, play basketball, because a healthy body is going to support a healthy mind. Number 4, break big goals into small wins. Meaning, don't think, OMG, I have to write an entire book. Think, I'll write 1 page a day, and eventually it's going to become an entire book. And you do this because small victories, they build confidence and momentum. And number 5, protect your focus. This means limit your distractions, turn off any unwanted notifications, and work in short focus sessions. You got to create an environment that's going to help your brain succeed instead of fighting against it all the time. The Bible reminds us that God often uses people that the world overlooks. If you look at 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9, it says, "For my grace is sufficient in thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." What does that mean? This means God doesn't wait until we're perfect before using us. He works through our weaknesses. If you remember, the Apostle Paul had what he called a thorn in the flesh, and still God used him to change the world. So that means your struggle doesn't cancel your purpose. So listen, if you have ADHD, I want you to stop asking, why am I like this? And instead ask, how can I use the way God made me to serve others? Because that question is what changes everything. So use your energy, use your creativity, use your passion, and use your persistence. Because what feels like a limitation today could be what inspires someone tomorrow. So if you don't remember nothing, remember this. Your disability is not your identity. Your diagnosis is not your destiny. Every person has strengths and every person has weaknesses. Success comes from learning how to maximize your strengths while being able to manage your weaknesses. You see, God doesn't call the qualified. We're all qualified. He qualifies the call. Now, as always, I hope this message helped at least one person. I will be back at you again tomorrow with another one. Until then, you know what I need you to do is keep that head on a swivel. I need you to love yourself and only help who wants to be helped. I love y'all. I'm out.